Mr. Assistant President, I'm normally loath to be critical of a motion on Private Members Day, but I do really need to make an exception on this occasion. I really do, because we need to be very clear about what this motion is about. It is a self-evident stunt to try and discredit the Minns government's very popular measure on toll caps and its decision to make that measure permanent not so long ago. The Special Minister of State has already gone through the substantive reasons why this motion is without merit. But I am surprised, I have to say, I am surprised by the somewhat cavalier approach that the Liberal Party is now taking towards principles of commercial confidentiality, something that it used to take very seriously when it was the party of enterprise and business, but not so much now. But nonetheless, here we are on Private Members Day, wheeling out the same distraction and distortion tactics, earnestly wringing our hands to distract people from the undeniable fact that the Minns government's toll cap is a policy success and is a policy that the people of New South Wales overwhelmingly support. Locking in the toll cap on a permanent basis was not easy, but we got there, and the Minister is diligently getting on with the job by methodically working through legal technicalities and commercial realities carefully and respectfully, which might not be convenient. It might not be a convenient answer for the purpose of a debate on Wednesday, but it is a necessary characteristic to demonstrate that you are fit to govern. And that is precisely what the Minister is doing. But none of us should ever forget the reason why we are here and why we are even having this debate and why he has to do all that hard work. And it's because of the previous government's infatuation with Tollmania. We will never forget the obsession with outsourcing, offshoring, privatisation, which caused so much harm to businesses and motorists, particularly in Western Sydney. That Tollmania, I'm not going to acknowledge the intervention, but Mr. Assistant President, there is also ample, credible evidence that if those opposite had their way, more and more of Sydney's roads would have been tolled and then sold, because they had this preoccupation and absolute addiction
the
to
Honourable
tolling
Natalie
roads,
Ward
because it
will
was
please
a way to
cease
fatten the
interjecting.
pig and then flog it off, as they did and as they would have done if we did not form government. It is as simple as that. That is why we're here. That's why we're having this debate. That's why this minister has to go through the arduous task of negotiating with toll companies. And that is why we now have a permanent toll cap, which motorists in Western Sydney embrace.